The anterior urethra. In the anterior urethra, the mucous membrane is surrounded, except in the fossa navicularis, by a very thin longitudinal layer of unstriped muscle fibers in direct continuity with the inner fibers of the prostate, and these are in turn surrounded by a circular layer of unstriped muscle. These circular fibers are so few around the spongy urethra that their very existence was denied by Sappi. Finally, the anterior urethra is surrounded from triangular ligament to meatus by the corpus spongiosum, except for the half-inch nearest the bladder, where the corpus spongiosum fails to cover the roof of the urethra and is enlarged below into the bulb. Crypts and glands. In the roof of the fossa navicularis lies the Lacuna Magna, figure 15, a simple pocket in the mucous membrane with its orifice toward the meatus and consequently open to entrap small instruments. This lacuna varies greatly in size in different persons, being sometimes entirely absent and occasionally running as far back as the triangular ligament, forming the so-called double urethra. A few other smaller lacunae lie along the roof of the penile urethra. The glands of the urethra, to be distinguished from the lacunae, are of the compound racemose type, of very small caliber, lined with a cylindrical epithelium. They lie chiefly on the roof of the anterior urethra and are more numerous in its deeper parts. They are also found on the roof of the membranous urethra. In some instances, they pierce the sheath of the corpus spongiosum and extend for some distance within it, an important fact in relation to organic stricture of the canal, since these glands convey the products of urethral inflammation into the corpus spongiosum and so involve it in the subsequent cicatrization. Cowper's glands are two small, round, lobular bodies, each about the size of a cherry stone, lying just behind the bulb of the urethra, in the muscle between the layers of the triangular ligament. Their ducts open on the floor of the bulbous urethra. The color of the membrane is pale pink. In rest, its walls are in contact, obliterating the cavity of the canal, so that a cross-section presents a transverse slit instead of an opening. Figure 18. The anterior urethra is called the external urinary tract, and the canals and reservoirs beyond the internal urinary tract, for the anterior urethra is in free communication with the surface of the body and harbors all the microorganisms that may lie thereon. As a general thing, it does this with perfect impunity. Its flora include the bacteria found upon the skin, notably Pseudodiphtheria bacilli and Staphylococcus albus, page 166. Such bacteria as flourish normally in the anterior urethra, being constantly washed out by the urine and entering only through the meatus, except under pathological conditions, are most numerous in the fossa navicularis, and indeed are usually found only in that region.